When people come to Moscow for the first time, and this is not only about foreigners, they are impressed by clean streets and awesome night illumination. One of the biggest compliments to Moscow I've ever heard was from my Japanese friends. And Japan, as you may know, is extremely clean country. So when these Japanese guys came to Moscow for the first time, they said, "Wow, it's so clean, unbelievably clean." And that was true. It's really clean, guys. It hasn't been always like this. Unbelievable, but just 10 years ago Moscow was very uncomfortable place to live, with a lot of advertising posters, spontaneous shopping pavilions and dark, dirty streets. In 2010 Moscow's mayor changed, and the new one started so-called Moscow's renovation. Pavements were renewed, walking areas became wider, lanes for bicycles and scooters appeared, public transportation became comfortable and convenient, and many other things were done. At the beginning, as it usually happens, not everyone was satisfied with such activities. However, step by step, people did realize that Moscow's getting better and better and became one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Moscow is not only beautiful and clean, it's also safe. I do not want to offend anyone, but in Moscow I feel myself much safer than in many European cities. Also, if you were in Moscow several years ago, you can notice that since that time, public transportation in Moscow has become much more convenient. Currently, finding a parking place in central Moscow is neither easy or cheap. For instance, if you find some free parking place here, which is doubtful by the way, you will have to pay up to 380 ruble per 1 hour. And this is one of reasons why public transportation, including taxi, is getting more and more popular. But not only taxi. If you look on the right, you can see these white, blue, orange cars. This is one of Moscow car sharing services. Very convenient, by the way, because you can rent a car starting from 7 ruble per 1 minute. And you can leave it almost everywhere. No need to pay for parking. And Moscow car sharing services are growing fastest in Europe. And here you can see a graphic illustration of the renovation. The walking area is much wider than the roadway. Numerous buildings are decorated with bas-reliefs of prominent and sometimes not so prominent people who lived or worked in these buildings. And frankly speaking, this is quite questionable because there are too many of them. In the distance, you could see an old Soviet-designed tractor which is cleaning the street. In Moscow, you can see such cleaning equipment very often. Most tractors and vacuum cleaners are modern, but this one I think not. I suppose that this tractor is older than me, guys. But on the other hand, streets are clean, which means that this old equipment is still effective. All types of services are skyrocketing in Moscow. I told you about car sharing, another one is food delivery. Almost everywhere can you meet such colorful people with boxes. This is fast and effective food delivery. To be honest, February is not the best time to visit Moscow. The reason is simple. In winter, it could be rather cold, which is not a surprise. But also after heavy snow falls, roads could become messy for a short period of time. But this year there is no winter in Moscow. It is rather difficult to find snow in the city. In the evening, Moscow illumination is awesome. I would highly recommend that you should go to the central part of the city and enjoy the view. By the way, this is Nikolskaya street, which was the central spot of attraction for football fans during World Cup in 2018. This is the rear side of Moscow State Department store GUM, which is also a place of attraction. And you can see that it is well illuminated as well, not only the front side of GUM but also the back side of it. And if you want to know how the department store looks inside, you could see it in one of my previous videos. And this is a small reminder that there is winter in Moscow, however, not this year. Is it really the Russian winter? I don't think so. You can look left. You can look right. You can look forward. And everywhere this awesome, beautiful, marvelous illumination. This is night Moscow, my friends. Maybe there is no winter in Moscow this year, but Moscow is not Moscow without ice rinks.